Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the age-old question that's about to be answered. Bomb versus Mori, the main protagonist of Tower of God, pitted up against the main protagonist of God of Highschool. This is the first time I've done a video like this, so expect some inconsistencies, expect me to mess up a little bit. You know, I want to try out this format, pitting two characters against each other, talking about their strengths, talking about their weaknesses, and figure out who would win in an all-out fight between the two. I'm taking both of these characters at their peak strength, so I'm almost caught up with God of Highschool, but the peak strength that I'm considering is Mori from Ragnarok. The Mori that we see at the peak of Ragnarok, fighting Satan, basically going all out, and then Bomb at his current point in Season 3, obviously with all his different abilities, all his different techniques. That's the two characters we're considering. And also, we're assuming that these two are fighting on an even playing field, meaning it's not like, oh, they're fighting on Earth, therefore Bomb can't use Shinsu. It's like, no, we're assuming Bomb can use Shinsu, we're assuming Mori can use everything he has at his disposal, we're taking the two of them at their absolute best. And like I mentioned before, I understand not all of you may be happy with the conclusion that I've come to, but again, this is the first time I'm making a video like this, so it's totally cool if you have criticisms for me, but let's get into it. The first step is breaking down each of their abilities. Let's start with the 25th Bomb, my boy. I love Tower of God, it's my favorite comic, and Bomb is an amazing protagonist. Let's talk about his techniques. So right off the bat, Bomb has the ability to copy anything that he's hit with, pretty much. I mean, he's not used everything he's been hit with, but it's heavily shown, and we see it all the time, that if Bomb is directly hit with a technique, he is able to use it right back. So the first time we see this is reverse flow control. Bomb is able to freeze somebody by reversing the Shinsu in their body. He's able to freeze them in place. This is really overpowered. The one flaw this has is if they have really good Shinsu resistance, then it doesn't really work. And if they have some other special circumstances, like they're made of shadow or whatever, he's not able to do it. Bomb also has a lot of mobility, and we see this when he copied the blue ore. The blue ore is able to shoot Bomb around at amazing speeds, and eventually this became a couple of wings. When Bomb was able to upgrade his powers, upgrade his transformations, the blue ore became more like the blue wings. That's sort of what I'm gonna call it, blue wings, you know? And this allows Bomb to fly, which is huge, and also move around at incredible speeds. Another feat that Bomb has is he's immune to spells. I don't think this really matters particularly against Mori, unless you want to count what Mori does as spells. But as far as like the tower's spells and the spells in the Tower of God world, it doesn't affect Bomb because he's an irregular. Now obviously Bomb's bread and butter is his Shinsu control. Bomb is able to manipulate Shinsu at an incredible level for being a C rank regular, and of course an irregular. Bomb is able to manipulate so much Shinsu, create so many different techniques. I'm not going to go into every single one, but he's got, you know, Hansung techniques, Jinsung martial arts techniques that he uses Shinsu with as well, and of course his own style of Shinsu techniques, which he's learned recently. He also has the Shinsu loop, which was taught to him by Hansung, which means that Bomb essentially never runs out of Shinsu. He creates a loop, and he's able to draw from that loop, but his Shinsu, it keeps growing and growing and growing, and essentially he can just keep using Shinsu. It's pretty busted. As far as martial arts goes, Bomb is a genius. He went to a ton of different schools, had them punch him a bunch with their techniques, and he was able to learn their martial arts techniques. So even without Shinsu, Bomb is an incredibly gifted fighter. Now, Bomb is known for having a ton of different like upgrades and transformations, quote unquote. So one of these is the Thorn. The Thorn is Bomb's, it's his main thing. It's his main upgrade. If he busts out the Thorn, you know there's trouble. He actually has two Thorns, but we've rarely seen the second Thorn. We only saw it once, and it teleported him out of the hidden floor, so I'm not going to talk about that. As far as the Thorn goes, the singular Thorn, it essentially gives Bomb a power boost. A huge power boost. It doesn't like make him 100 times stronger. It's not like he couldn't hold his own against a high ranker and now he destroys them. It's not like that much, but it does give him a huge boost. And that's the Thorn's the reason why he's able to potentially in the future take down Jihad. So it's a big deal. Bomb also has the Black March, which he absorbed at the end of the last station, and from what we've seen, it acts in a similar way. It gives him a power boost, but it also gives him access to more kinds of attacks and abilities. He also has souls inside of him, souls that once were White's power, and the final clone on the Hell Train gave Bomb these souls, and he's able to use them sometimes to make a sword, to make a bow, and essentially, again, is kind of like a power-up. The only thing with the souls is that sometimes they're a little bit unstable. We haven't seen him use the souls all that often, really just a couple of times throughout the series, but it still counts and it definitely helps him out. And then we have the red and blue Thrissa. The blue Thrissa has been inside Bomb for a very long time, since Season 2 started, and it essentially acts as a shield to Bomb. Bomb can bust it out on his arm and block incoming attacks, and a lot of these attacks were from rankers. Now, it's not perfect. White was able to slash right through it in a recent chapter, so the blue Thrissa needs some work, and Bomb's gonna keep working on it, I assume, but it's still a shield and it's still useful. And the red Thrissa is like a sword. He's able to bust it out, it's extremely sharp, and combined with the power of transformation, he's able to basically create this giant sword coming out of his arm, and he was able to slash the cherry sword thing that Delete had, which was supposed to be like made of insane material, so obviously this thing is sharp. And then of course he has other techniques like the floral butterfly piercing technique, which is able to basically take the two different kinds of Shinsu, like normal flow and reverse flow, sort of combine them into disrupting the Shinsu in one's body and make them explode. Also, Black Hole Sphere. Shinsu Black Hole Sphere is a sort of style of fighting which is able to absorb stuff. It's a style of Shinsu that essentially acts as an opposite of sending out Shinsu. It's a bit weird, but basically it's kind of like it's sort of like a black hole, but it's more of like a deletion. It's just a style of fighting that Bomb can use. Okay, actually I'm wrong about that. The Black Hole Sphere it doesn't really absorb stuff. It's essentially a way to compress Shinsu and then detonate it, essentially. It's a way to draw Shinsu in and then make it explode. So apparently it's also called like an explosion of space. I don't know, I mix that up sometimes about what it can do, but it's basically a different way of fighting that can amplify your Shinsu. Okay, that's it for Bomb's abilities. Let's break down Mori's abilities. Now, I've studied a lot more on Tower of Gods, so I might be missing a couple of things here, but Mori, he doesn't have as many like individual techniques as Bomb does, because Bomb has like freaking, an indefinite amount. However, the stuff that Mori has is pretty out of this world. Mori has the Yui. The Yui is number one, man. The Yui is his staff, which is able to expand and stretch to insane degrees. I mean insane degrees. He's able to pierce the moon from Earth. He's able to shoot it out into space. And the fact that Mori is able to use it so perfectly as well, he's so accurate with it, it's insane. The Yui's nuts. He's able to compress it so small he can put it in his ear, and the fact is it's also insanely heavy. He's practically the only person who can pick it up. I mean, there's a couple of weird cases where someone can barely pick it up or whatever, but it's pretty nuts. He also has the Gundu one. If I'm saying these names wrong, I apologize, but this is essentially the lightning he's able to call down, and it's a very powerful attack. It's got a huge range. The radius is nuts. It basically is able to shock an entire country. It's pretty insane. We've seen it in many different ways. And he's also able to use it as a cloud. He's able to scout areas out and find people. And he can also ride it like Goku with the Nimbus cloud. He also has his armor suits. And these armor suits are not just regular armor suits, right? He's able to block, obviously, with these suits. And they act passively as well, by the way. He doesn't always have to think about it. They're always trying to protect him, which he can also give to other people, but that doesn't matter in this case. So they're very defensive, but also there are a couple of other modes. There's a speed mode for the armor suits, which drastically increases Mori's speed, and also a power mode, which increases his strength. We don't see that one as often, but it exists. Mori is also able to use clones when he's in his god form. Many, many different clones that are very strong, and not like, they're not clones that they poof when you hit them, right? They are real. They will beat you up. And of course, we know Mori Hui is a clone that was born out of this and became his own person. He had his own identity. And so it shows you that these clones, they're the real deal. The Monkey King mode speaks for itself. I mean, he couldn't do any of these things without accessing that mode, but he's Sun Wukong. He's Jay Chon Dai Song, This is the Monkey King. And when he accesses this mode, it's nuts what he can do. He has so many, again, he doesn't have as many abilities as Bomb, but the insane things that he can do with these abilities are out of this world. Now, talking about his regular style of fighting, he is an insane martial artist. Even before he knew he was the Monkey King, or before he had access to those powers, even if he doesn't use that, his martial arts abilities are nuts. He's able to manipulate air. His kicks are nuts. Obviously, Taekwondo is his main way of fighting, and he's able to, I'm not going to go into it all, but other forms of the Taekwondo that he's able to use. It manipulates space, it manipulates the areas around him just from his kicks, you know what I mean? It's not like some form of magic. It's like, no, he's so good at physically fighting, it basically manipulates everything around him. He has like the Azure kick and the Azure kick ×2, you know, there's like so much he can do with his martial arts. And he's learned a bunch of different styles as well, not just Taekwondo. He also, like the Wagwang swordsmanship, he's used that before. He's used some of Dewey's techniques, like the Fist of the Black Turtle. And he's also learned from Haoyang Seo his techniques, the Pumbaa style fighting techniques and stuff. The last thing I'm gonna talk about for Mori is perhaps the most important thing. You know, I mean, obviously, Sun Wukong mode and the Yui are super important, but he also has something that has saved him countless times, and that's Jaebong Chim. Jaebong Chim is essentially able to temporarily boost your power level by accessing different nerve points throughout your body, hitting different nerves, and you're able to basically double your strength, or triple your strength, or your strength is 10 times or whatever. He's able to do so much with Jaebong Chim. It's able to boost him to insane levels. Insane levels. When he was fighting Satan, he did Jaebong Chim times 250,000. 250,000! And even by doing Jaebong Chim a little bit, like after the time limit is over, which is a few minutes typically, then you start to ache. Like it really hurts. And if you go that far, that is the weakness of it. Like you're gonna be out. Once Jaebong Chim is over, you're done. That's it. So that's it for Bam and Mori. Those are their abilities, some of the weaknesses that come with those abilities, but mostly the strengths, man, because these abilities, these techniques, and the way they fight, they're both nuts. They're both really great powerhouses. Now, when I was studying these two and thinking about, you know, the things that they've done, the feats that they've accomplished, and I came to this conclusion, right? Even before coming to my answer. The way I see it is, in a way, Bam has more utility. Because Bam has like literally hundreds of different techniques that he's able to access, different things that he can use in different scenarios. Bam has a ton of utility. However, I feel like Mori is just physically way stronger, right? Mori is able to do feats of strength that are unthinkable. He's a literal god. Like Mori is a god. And so that's sort of the way I thought about it, was if they had an arm wrestle, I think Mori is the clear winner, but maybe if they had to both use their abilities to get through like some kind of game, I think Bam would win. Bam is used to the different tests and stuff, and he would find a way to use his abilities to get out of that situation. And so keeping all that in mind, I have come up with a winner. Once again, this is the first type of video I've done on this, so I apologize if I didn't cover more. I'd love to hear your critiques in the comments. But the winner that I've decided on, ultimately, is Jin, Mori, Sun Wukong, Jae Chon-dai Song, the Monkey King. I don't know, maybe in the future I'll come up with a scenario where they actually fight and then give you a final answer. But like, the way I see this is, ultimately, I think this is actually a pretty obvious winner. Now, the only reason I'm still doing this is because I think it's fun to talk about, you know, and maybe some of you actually disagree, but I think Mori is, like I said, he's a god, you know? And I think Bam at his peak might actually be able to beat Wukong, maybe. It's hard to tell, because what we've seen of high rankers, you know, comparing it to like Earth and God of Highschool, it's different, you know? And I think if you compared someone like Yurik, it would be different, you know? I think Bam can get to that level, but Bam at his current level, he is crazy strong, he's got so much at his disposal, but ultimately, Mori fought Satan in space, near the sun, and was able to do Jaebong Chim times 250,000, combined with the Yui and Gundo 1, and everything that he has at his disposal, martial arts. It's like, Mori is just broken. And obviously Bam is really broken as well, but like Bam, he sometimes struggles against like other rankers, other high rankers, obviously, other strong individuals, and like, you know, Bam he had to think and fight against like a rhino creature, you know, and this rhino creature had like a Shinsu horn. It's like, yes, obviously Bam is gifted, but Bam is still learning. Bam is somebody who still needs to get stronger, and I feel like at this point, if he was put up against Sun Wukong, Jin Mori, it's like, I don't know, man. Mori has shown time and time again the feats of strength that are just out of this world incredible. Like, Yui weighs literally many tons. You know what I mean? I forget exactly. Let me look it up. Yui in its normal form is 80 million tons. I don't even think that's possible, but you know, it's like the way, just thinking about that is nuts in and of itself, and the fact that this guy can whip it around like it's nothing, it's like, okay, I'm sorry, Bum, but Mori's nuts. Mori's nuts. Now, the only way I could see Bum winning, because I do think it could be possible, is if perhaps Bum's immunity to spells came into play. Like, maybe Mori's like, oh shoot, I can't use Gunda 1 on him. However, I don't think that's gonna be the same thing. You know what I mean? I don't think Bum's just immune to like anything that resembles magic. It's like, it's more that certain rules don't apply to him. I see it more like that. Now, the other way is if Bum was able to copy his techniques. And Mori's good at this as well, but Bum is like the poster child of copying techniques. If Bum like was able to learn Jaebong Chim as well, or maybe was able to copy his clone techniques or something, it'd be pretty difficult because those are very specific to Mori and probably hard to learn. But if he was able to do that, I could also see him utilizing that to potentially get the upper hand. But like, even then, Mori's been using these techniques for like hundreds of years, you know what I mean, if you count way back when. So it's like, even then, I don't know if that's quite enough for Bum. I think Mori beats Bum like 95% of the time, if not more. I think, again, the only way Bum could get an advantage is if with more training, he trained a little bit more, he figured stuff out, or if he's able to copy his techniques and somehow use them even better than Mori. I think it'd be pretty difficult, but there is a world I can see where Bum wins, and I think if Bum becomes like the number 2 of the tower, or number 3 or something, takes down Jihad, I think we can have a more realistic discussion, and I think it'd be a lot closer as to who would win. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content. If you want to see more types of videos like this, like pitting one character against another from 2 different universes, let me know in the comments, because I'd love to do more of these. And also, give me some suggestions. How can I make this better? You know, did I miss something when talking about these two? Should I have gone deeper into a certain topic? Because I'd love to know. A huge shout out to Webtoon for sponsoring this video. I'm assuming you've read Tower of God and God of Highschool if you're watching this, but those are not the only 2 good comics on Webtoon. I'm reading a ton of awesome stuff like Unordinary and Unholy Blood, Omniscient Reader, you know, Purple Hyacinth. There's a ton of different awesome shows, and a lot of them are different genres too. I'm usually an action guy, but there's a ton of stuff that I'm getting into that isn't even action, so I would check out the Webtoon app. The link is down below. I think you're gonna enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. And with that, I'll see you guys in my next Webtoon video. Take care.